Justin Fields in an impossible position to succeed in 2022. Let's talk about it. What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video talking some NFL here to talk about the Chicago Bears. So if you're a Bears fan, make sure to hit that big red subscribe button down below. Make sure to follow me on all my social media platforms, guys. As always, hit the bell icon so you're in fact notified every time I drop a new video. All right, people. So we got a interesting topic to talk about today, and that is whether or not Justin Fields is in an almost impossible position to succeed in 2022. Now, where am I getting this kind of question from? It's actually a report that I'll share with you guys here. It's from Sports Illustrated. This guy, Connor Orr, who I'm not sure who he is, or I've not heard of him, but he believes that Justin Fields is in an impossible position to succeed in 2022. So he writes that Fields, and I quote, is going to take snaps under center in 2022 surrounded by what is on paper one of the NFL's worst rosters, end quote. An undeniable assessment after the Bears hemorrhaged talented players in free agency and did nothing to improve the team. And then it says that Orr credited General Manager Ryan Poles for building future draft capital this spring. Orr is very much in line with salary cap expert Jason Fitzgerald, who recently said Chicago is in complete teardown mode with an eye towards 2023 and 2024 following Matt Nagy's catastrophic tenure as head coach. Fields will head into the 2020 season with Darnell Mooney, a solid receiver, but far from elite, as his unquestioned number one wideout. Fields in 2021 struggled mightily in Nagy's uncreative offense, ranking 37th in adjusted completion rate, just ahead of Mike Glennon, and 22nd in yards per attempt. Fields' expected points added EPA per dropback was lower than every quarterback besides Zach Wilson. In 2022, Fields will have to improve despite the Bears getting markedly worse this offseason. He might not be long for the franchise if he struggles again this year. Hopefully, new head coach Matt Eberflus and his staff will better utilize Fields' outstanding mobility in 2022, period. All right, a lot there to digest and talk about, so let's break it down piece by piece. All right, so the first part of this report talks about how the Bears are one of the worst rosters in football this year, okay? And I can't completely deny that because the Bears roster is very, very poor, okay? When your third best receiver is Equanimous St. Brown, that's a problem, okay? So I totally get that part, and I've been, echoing that this offseason, how Ryan Poles has not done a good job of surrounding Justin Fields with as much talent as possible for him to be able to succeed. I've said that, okay? So I'm not surprised by this assessment that the Bears have one of the worst rosters in football this upcoming season. Now, the second part it says is that Ryan Poles is geared towards 2022 and 2023, and he's kind of looking past, 23 and 24, he's kind of looking past 22, and I agree with that. This next year almost seems like a wash with the way they're operating, okay? And so that part I totally get, and there's a lot to clean up here, right? Folks, you can't build something up as a foundation, right? Ryan Poles can't build up a foundation without tearing it down first, right? You can't build a new building without tearing down the old building. So what's happening right now is the tear down of the old building, and then the foundation will be laid for the new building, if you will. So that part I get, and I have defended Ryan Poles in that aspect, okay? That you have to kind of step back to take maybe 2 steps forward sometimes, okay? As far as Justin Fields and how much he struggled in Matt Nagy's offense last year with all of the stats that they threw out here, look, folks, that could literally improve just by the fact that Matt Nagy's not here, right? When we're talking about Matt Eberflus and this coaching staff, if they're just competent, Fields will improve. They're just competent. So that part, I'm telling you right now, coaching matters a lot in the NFL, and coaching can make a big difference. So if Justin Fields just gets better coaching, it's a better scheme. Luke Getty is able to put him in, a good offensive system. Then Justin Fields will improve literally just by that. So that part I'm telling you, that was all Matt Nagy for him kind of struggling, if you will. Obviously, the offensive line was not good. There's a little bit of talent issue there as well. But mainly it was because of Matt Nagy and his scheme or lack thereof. Now, the part that I don't agree with in this last statement here is the Bears are not going to, or they're going to be, maybe taking a look at maybe moving on from Justin Fields if he struggles again this year. That part I have an issue with, because here's my thing. If Ryan Poles knows that going into this year, all right, look, I wasn't able to put as much talent around Fields because I didn't have as many resources. Ryan Pace, the previous GM, traded away all the draft capital, and I have to start from scratch. Because of that, I wasn't able to give Justin Fields as much. Then he should give Justin Fields a pass, quote unquote, for this upcoming season, because you didn't put him in a good position to succeed. So if Fields struggles and Ryan Poles is like, oh yeah, he struggled, so he's not the answer, that's not fair to Justin Fields, because you did not put him in a position to succeed, or you set him up to fail, right? So that's where I have a problem here, is if the Bears are like, oh, we're going to move on from Fields because he struggled this season. No, you didn't surround him with anything. It was trash. So that one I have a problem with. Ultimately, I've said this before, I'll say it again, folks. Can Justin Fields still shine even with a bad roster? The answer is yes. And there's a two-part component here you got to focus on. When we're talking about elite, right, where we're talking about Justin Fields potentially being an elite quarterback, he will absolutely shine even with bad talent around him. I've seen it happen before, and it can happen again, right? Deshaun Watson, that first year with the Texans, was in a worse situation, if you can believe it, than the Justin Fields is with the Bears this season. It was a worse situation, worse roster, worse coach, and the talent just shone through. Like, you could just see it. Deshaun Watson's a stud, and he's an elite quarterback, a top 5 quarterback, if you will. So that's why I said two-part here. If we're talking about Justin Fields being elite, oh yeah, he's going to be able to showcase that even with a bad roster. If we're talking about Justin Fields being less than that, just a solid quarterback, maybe not much more, then yeah, he's going to need a lot of things around him to be right? There's quarterbacks that you win because of, and there's quarterbacks that you win with, right? If Justin Fields is the guy we win because of, he'll be fine. He'll find a way to showcase that talent. If he's a quarterback that you will win with, then that means you need to surround him with as much talent as possible. Now, again, this does not neglect the fact that you still need to surround the man with talent. But all I am saying is, if he is going to be elite, you will see it. You will see it. So that's kind of where I'm at here, folks. So to answer the question, is he in an impossible position to succeed in 2022? No, because if he has the elite quarterback traits, they will shine. But obviously, it would have helped a heck of a lot more if he had some talent around him, right? So to me, I'll say no, but obviously I'm not happy with the talent or lack thereof. They just got to be fair with Fields. If he struggles this year, you just got to know you didn't put everything you could have around him, all right? So that's kind of where I'm at, folks. What do you guys think? Is Justin Fields in an impossible position to succeed in 2022? Leave a comment down below as always. Thanks for watching.